Alright, here we are again with Katawa Shoujo, and we're still on Act 1, Life Expectancy, now in Part 3. So let's get started. And here we start off with 3 decisions, and I get to ask about the library, or I could say, I think I got everything I need to know, or I could ask about Shizune's deafness. So I was thinking about asking more about Shizune, as it seems like a good idea to get to know more about people. Shizune intrigues me, and I kind of want to ask something about her. But I can't really ask about something that personal, can I? I can't come up with anything else to ask, so I just focus on my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice the conversation and sign is not enough to fill the silence. We arrived in the classroom early, but we're not the first. The dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way here, as if she were slowly turning into stone just from our presence. Misha and Shizune either don't notice or don't mind it, as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students, and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizune are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hee-chan. We've got to hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Ah, wait. The teacher said I'd have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. We join the flow of students making their way down the stairway and outside, with the girls pointing out the senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually a part of the main building. This is the auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' offices. They even have a swimming pool. How is that official? Don't be silly, Hee-chan. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Bye. A whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with actual education? I guess it's necessary for a place like this. I walk in, hoping that this really will be only a quick visit like the teacher said. On a white door on the left is a green cross with the text Head Nurse and a nameplate. A voice from the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room is not large, and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cup rings lingering on the desk. Hello there, what can I do for you today? He is a young-looking and sort of rugged. but the dimples in his cheeks wash that impression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles like a person who has heard the very same question hundreds of times. Why, yes, I am. It says so on the door, no? You can call me by my name or just the nurse, like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right, I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is nakige. His eyes light up with revelation, and he snaps his finger. Oh, you're that, Nakai. I was just reading your file in the morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? He gestures me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes. Good. Well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there is a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. His joke feels so out of place that I'm left thinking why he even said it. Yeah, just that it's really weird to have so many medical people at school. You'll get used to it. I'm not so sure of that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now, let me find your file again. While he searches for something from his computer and shovels stacks of papers around, I let my gaze wander around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and ceiling, dark gray laminate flooring, and all the equipment you'd expect from a school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging on all four walls, reminding me to eat properly 3 times a day and from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So, you already have the medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening, or it won't help much. And apart from that, do you do any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins to his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm going to have to recommend you refrain from doing that, at least for the time being. Oh. My lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow, but really, I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, just to have something to do. Any kind of concussion might be very dangerous to your heart, and risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by a sudden concussion to the chest area? There is no mention of the cause in your papers. Not exactly. I size up the question acceptably, and he glances at me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise would do you good. We have physical therapy and such available, as I said, but I don't think you really need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks, or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming, maybe? There's a pool here. So I was told. You were? Very good. At any rate, and I'm sure you've been told this before, you just need to take care not to overexert yourself. He wags his fingers to emphasize the point. No need really, I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks. Take care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk, obviously content. Good. That's it then. Come meet me if you ever need anything. I mustered out before I even realized it. A quick visit, indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building and the auxiliary building. Although to my eyes, they still look one and the same. It's the first real look I get at the other students, so I watch people coming out of the school, going towards the gate or the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they are going, and I still keep thinking that most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. Then again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? Or one of us? I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The weariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, set a little way apart from the main building complex. There is a garden of sorts between the school and the dorms, shrubbery, flowers, and the overbearing smell of fresh-cut grass that fills the atmosphere. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel because I haven't been outside at all in so long. The dorm building is big and made of red brick, like the others. It feels way too pompous for what it is, so I push forward, going inside. It takes more time than necessary to fish out the keys I was given from my pocket. Room 1-1-9. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like in the main building, the halls and doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. Same goes for the elevators at the end of the hallways. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the television. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems that only the girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off from the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seem to have a toilet and a shower, as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down the hall, I spy room 119. The nameplates on the rooms adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there are just 2 of us here. Light shines from below the door of room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello, is anyone home? From inside, I hear a few movements, then the clicking of way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy is standing in the doorway. He is looking at me very intently through his extremely thick eyeglasses. Who is it? Blind? No, at least not completely. Why would he have eyeglasses if he was? He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. His breath stinks of garlic. His style nakige. I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce myself. His face suddenly brightens in realization, and he stands back upright, thrusting his hand out in a smiling greeting, almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup dude. The name's Kenji. Hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcome. There were some suspicious looking people going in and out of your room earlier. It was probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? 'Cause they could have been some other people too. You can't judge a book by its cover. His out-of-place proverb is left hanging between us awkwardly as I try to think of some way to respond. I'd say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Hisao. Me? I don't think I could trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does that mean I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about this for a while. A wise decision. Damn, you're smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a moment in search of the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. I slide the key into the lock of the door marked 109. Bleak beige walls, white linen, a desk made of some type of light wood, ugly curtains. It's no one's room, impersonal, like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting at the foot of my bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stocked with my clothes. Also, it seems that there are a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. A note is pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, Hee-chan. We've unpacked your things and made your bed. They said that if these don't fit, then you can go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I kind of hoped I would have. Then there would be something to do. It's still too early. I put the note down on the desktop and lie down on the bed, feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I had nothing with me. I wonder if the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I had nothing to do. The restless urge just keeps growing until I have to stand up. Maybe it's stress or something. I was pretty nervous about it before coming, and for the entire day today too. I still am, I think. Damn, I have to distract myself somehow, so I won't have this unnatural. I won't be this unnatural all the time. Tomorrow, I'll go borrow some books from the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now, the bottles of medication neatly arranged on my night table catch my eye. I pick one up and shake it just to hear the contents rattle inside, and then read the glued-on pharmacy label. Hisao nakige, 2 tablets daily to stay alive. It doesn't really say that, but it could just as well. It's kind of twisted, having your life depend on chemicals like this. I resented it a little, but what choice do I have? With a sigh, I begin my new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills from each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosages. I lie down again, feeling hollow and uncertain. And after that, I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. It doesn't start looking any more familiar, not even after darkness falls and long shadows draw across my room like fingers. The sheets feel slightly more comfortable, warm and nested-like against the chill that passes for room temperature here. Soon the lighter shade of darkness that is the ceiling looks like every ceiling does at night, and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. The night beckons me to sleep, and I feel the coldness of unfamiliarity and fear creeping up my spine once again. I keep drifting further away from the world I knew. Alright, that was one day. I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you for watching.